So my next guest is here. He is also a Kevin, which is amazing. Team Kevin. So we got Kevin Blankespoor. He's Senior Vice President and General Manager from Boston Dynamics, joining us in the booth. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. We are live here on LinkedIn right now, so say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody. Glad to have you.
Yeah, definitely. So you're from Boston Dynamics, joining us here in the booth at ProMat. So first off, how you doing? Day two.
Good. Yeah, I just got here last night, but great
Okay.
show. Lots of, every time I come here, there's something new and exciting. So,
Yeah.
especially in the robotic side. I mean, a lot of new
Oh yeah.
mobile robots really hitting the floor now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I was talking earlier about ProMat 2019, which is like the first MHI show that I've attended, and just seeing like the progression in robotics from like Modex 2019 or ProMat 2019 to Modex, and now this year, I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I think the warehouse space is actually the most exciting vertical for robotics right now, right? So,
Yeah.
manufacturing, there's been robots for decades. A lot of kind of more traditional industrial robot arms, but some AMRs in manufacturing as well. And they're, heavily automated, but that's not really true in warehouses, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the majority of warehouses have little to no automation.
Mhm.
And that's because it's been too hard until recently, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's more variance. You really need vision and autonomy to work in a warehouse.
Mm.
But robotics is caught up, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we have advanced machine learning and vision and autonomy now that enables flexible robots to succeed in the warehouse. But that's just starting. That's why it's exciting, because
Yeah.
it's going to grow for, I think, decades to come.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's great too because, like you mentioned, we had robotics in manufacturing like for a while in some aspect, but I think it's great too because we see a lot of these technologies that in like different industries or just like we try to bring robotics into like our personal life, like in the movies, right? It's like not as practical, and we're finding all these really practical applications for the warehousing industry, which I think makes it super exciting to be a part of, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what Stretch is, right? So
Yeah.
the robot that we're showing here
Mhm.
is our first foray into a robot that's purpose built for the warehouse.
Yeah.
So, most people know Boston Dynamics more for legged robots, and so we've been
Mhm.
working on that for a couple of decades now.
Yeah.
But we were really able to kind of capture a lot of the technological advancements we've made from our humanoids and our quadruped robots
Mhm.
and repackage them into something that looks very different, right? Stretch
Oh,
is
yeah,
a wheeled
absolutely.
robot with an
Yeah.
arm. It looks like, nothing like our other robots, but it shares a lot of the same hardware assemblies and a lot of the same software. So we're really able to repurpose that to, exactly towards what you're saying, right?
Mhm.
Something that's practical and ready to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the problem that Stretch is addressing, which is the container unloading, right? I think is such a great problem to tackle because it's just such a labor intensive
Yeah.
job, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious now, since the last time I had you guys on the podcast, you've now since rolled this out with DHL, correct? So tell us a little bit about how that's going and kind of what it's been like.
Yeah, we've actually done our first deliveries. The delivery started this year for truck unload, and we've gotten actually robots out to DHL and to Maersk,
Mm.
and it's going really well. We're excited. The customer is happy. We thought it might take months to get through site acceptance test at our first deliveries because it's brand new,
Right.
but it was more like weeks. So they're both through site acceptance test. They're into operation. They're being used
Nice.
across multiple shifts.
Yeah.
And it's really handling a significant portion of the inbound at the facilities it's at. So yeah,
Right.
we're on a great trajectory. We're excited to keep going.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I'm sure. I'm curious, like when you brought the Stretch in, and to the employees that were previously unloading the containers. I mean, did they have like a collective like leap of joy or yell out loud?
They love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's you hit the nail on the head. Like
Mhm.
it's a really hard job.
Oh yeah.
No one sticks with it for very long.
Yeah.
Turnover and injuries are really high.
Yeah.
And so, people are just really happy to have the robot. Whether it's the people that were unloading the trucks or the people that were kind of managing those
Yeah.
people, because no one sticks around.
Yeah.
So now they've got a robot that does a big chunk of the hardest work. And, every operator or kind of coworker I've talked to is just super excited to have Stretch there.
Yeah, I can imagine. And as someone that has managed people that are unloading containers before, I definitely can speak to the high turnover there. It's just such a tough job. It's hard to keep someone there. So I mean, talk to us about because the unloading part is one thing. So then talk to us about the next step in the process and like how does Stretch kind of work to connect to that next process, which is like the palletizing and then movement.
Right. Yeah, and Stretch is designed with lots of different applications in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So the hardware platform can do, unload. It can do pallet building or case pick.
Right.
It can do truckload, depal, all those things. We've really just got the first round of software and applications aimed at our first application, which is truck unload.
Right.
But we absolutely intend it to be a multi-purpose robot, and it can even, move with the flow of the goods, right? So it might spend the morning on the inbound side of the warehouse unloading trucks, which we're doing now.
Right.
It might migrate towards the aisles of the warehouse in the middle of the day and do pallet building or case picking.
Okay.
And then it could proceed to the outbound side and do truck loading. So, you can use one robot for multiple jobs as we start to ramp in additional applications.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize it could do all the in between. So that's a great thing. Yeah, definitely, and it gives you that flexibility because certainly you're not unloading truck constantly, right?
Right. They come in bursts.
Yeah.
Same with loading.
Yeah. I've been there too. That's very tough for labor planning.
Yeah.
But it's very, very cool to hear about this. And I think Stretch is such a great application, like I said earlier. And I think it's so smart to address this problem. So if we look at Stretch, I mean, what else are you guys, if you can share, are developing anything else around the warehouse to try and complement Stretch as well?
Well, we are working with a new generation of safeguarding. So Stretch is a fast, high volume, high payload robot. So we do have a few new integration tricks up our sleeves. Because we do need safeguarding between Stretch and other people.
Yes.
So we're starting to transition from fencing into things like LiDAR-based safety zones. So there's less fixed infrastructure, right? There's the deployment times faster. There's new integrations with new types of conveyors, for example. So we're starting to work also with telescopic conveyors that aren't attached to the robot, but the robot actually controls the telescopic conveyor. So that's pretty cool. And of course, we're constantly talking to other people at this show about how we're all going to work together. So I mean, I think there's a really hot topic around fleet management for heterogeneous fleets of robots working together. So those are kind of always discussions we're having.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing, and definitely looking at the safety aspect. Obviously, we want to put safety first, but also, like you said, reducing the amount of infrastructure that needs to go in place certainly will help kind of the adoption and faster implementation as well, right? And also not kind of I guess limit off your dock in a sense, give you a little more flexibility too. So I think that's definitely a great thing. So if people come to your booth here at ProMat this week, I mean, what can they expect to see?
Oh, it's awesome. We've got multiple robots unloading. So, if you come to our booth at any given time, you're probably going to see a robot doing a real job. So we've got 3 different stretches there. There's one that you can kind of look up close that's, just in a static pose. And then we've got 2 that are constantly unloading trucks or shipping containers, really. So, it's an exciting booth to be at. You'll get to see the production version of Stretch. So we were at Modex last year. And we showed up with our prototype of Stretch, which was kind of just a proof of concept, early version. But since then, the robot's been totally redesigned for higher performance and better reliability, in addition to lower cost and manufacturability. So the robot that we have this year is really the product version of Stretch, and it looks similar to the prototype we showed last year, but really everything's been redesigned. It's also got an onboard safety system, right? So it's got a safety computer, safety rated LiDAR. So you'll get to see the robot that's really shipping in action if you swing by the booth.
Okay, nice. And what's the booth number for people?
It is 2541.
South, north,
south. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
right,
come
cool.
on by.
Big show.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool. We'll definitely check that out as well as the new warehouse. Get some pictures and videos for people that may be at home or not able to make it to the show. But before we wrap up, I do want to ask you because I know you guys are famous for like Spot, right? And I've seen Spot is becoming kind of like a pop icon a little bit. So I think it was Jason Derulo concert and then Paris Fashion Week.
Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah, what's going on?
A lot of some BTS videos out there. It's really interesting. We've found kind of a mix of uses for Spot. The main one we're actually selling into is industrial inspection.
Right.
So it's more for enterprise asset management. You're doing predictive maintenance in facilities, but there's no shortage of entertainment applications too. We're trying to figure out what that looks like as a business, but man, people love it. It's when you're physically around Spot, I don't know if you've gotten to see it in the flesh. We have one at the booth, by the way. So
there's one here. Okay. All right, cool.
It is a fantastic experience, right? Both Spot and Atlas to see live. And I've been working with them for 20 years and developed a lot of the software. Right? So it's not new to me, but it's still exciting when I see it. And if you've never seen it, it's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I saw like some of those videos pop up and I was like, what is this guy? Like this guy's spot, he's everywhere.
Yeah, totally.
All right, cool. So we know the booth where you guys are at, but if people want to find out more information about Boston Dynamics online, or if they want to connect with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, just come to the booth or come to our website. We're pretty quick to respond to leads.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right.
So Kevin, from Kevin to Kevin, Team Kevin here. Thanks so much for coming by the booth and joining me here on this live podcast.
Yeah, it was great to meet you.
Have a great show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, guys, that was Kevin Blankespoor. He's the Vice President General Manager at Boston Dynamics. So definitely go check them out at their booth or online.